How do we prove to a Muslim that the Bible is from God? By using the Quran.
Hello, welcome to Religious Insight. In this fascinating episode, Godlogic and David Wood engages some Muslim on the topic of the Islamic dilemma. What is this dilemma all about? Let's watch this video to find out what it is and the response of this Muslim to this dilemma. See you at the end of this video.
Faridh.
Oh, I hope it's the Faridh that we know.
Yeah, well, it's not.
Yeah, right,
Trust me, it's not.
Yeah, right. Faridh, how you doing?
Hey, hello guys.
Okay, finally, I'm here.
Love the impression, guy.
What's up, Faridh? How you doing, Faridh?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, that's nice. So, I'm not very familiar with the Islamic dilemma argument. Like, I know bits and parts of it. Like, the basic premise is that Quran affirms the Bible, and if the Bible is true, that means the Quran is false because it contradicts the Bible, and if the Bible is false, that means the Quran is false for confirming the Bible. But can I have like the verses you guys are talking about? Like, mainly just like the main verses you guys use, so I can.
Yeah, so you just want us to list a bunch for you, and you can jot them down and look at them, or
yeah, that's
okay.
Basically that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, so chapter 3, verses 3 to 4. Surah
right.
3, verses 3 to 4. That talks about the inspiration of the Torah and the Gospel, Allah sending it down, revealing it, so on. Then you have 7:157, Surah 7, verse 157.
All right.
That talks about Jews and Christians reading the Torah and the Gospel that are written down with them. Surah 5, verses 43 to 48. Very important passage. Verse 43.
Yeah, I've seen 43. Yeah, I've seen 43
that's
to 48.
the Jews. Then 47. Then you've got the Christians. And then 48. And then it's the Quran affirming the previous scriptures. So yeah, those also verses 66 and 68 of Surah 5. So Surah 5, verses 66 and 68. 1094, Surah 10, verse 94 is one Avery likes to bring up about Allah telling Muhammad that, hey, if you have doubts, go to the people of the book. Make sure your revelations line up with theirs. So that's Surah 10.
They're reading it. So
yeah. So that's 1094. And then in Surah 2 is just basically stacked with passages. But
yeah, I understand. Like 79, 85, I think 81, 41, things like that.
Yeah, 40 to 44 is good passage. And you mentioned the others. 85, 91, 97, 101, bunch of good passages there. But you get this overall pattern that emerges that what the Quran is saying is not, hey, Jews and Christians, your scriptures have been corrupted, therefore go to the Quran. It's that Allah has revealed different books to different groups, and what you're responsible for is following the revelation that was given to your group. But it's just like it's taken for granted that these revelations all match up somehow. But eventually people looked at the revelations and, hey, these don't match up. And so that's when people started having to say, oh, your scriptures have been corrupted, when that's not what the Quran says. But basically they realized that these books don't line up with the Quran, and therefore they had to throw them out. The problem is the Quran didn't say they're corrupted. The Quran affirmed their inspiration, the preservation of authority of scriptures that contradict the Quran, and so that's the basis for the Islamic dilemma.
Okay.
And by the way, just for your notes, if you can just add as well, 18 verse 27.
All right.
And then 6, 114 and 115.
Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, and you also have some interesting hadiths. You've got a hadith in Jami at-Tirmidhi where Muhammad says that Jews and Christians still have the Torah and the Gospel, and it says that they have it in the same way that Muslims still have the Quran, which wouldn't make sense if Jews and Christians had a corrupt Torah and Gospel. And then in Sunan Abu Dawud, you have the historical background of 543, where he tells the Jews to bring him a copy of the Torah, and he says, I believe in you and in the one who revealed you. So you put it all together, and it's almost like, how much clearer can Allah and Muhammad make their position on this? It's like, what could they possibly say to affirm our scriptures more than they've already said? It's like it's like they're affirming it in every possible different way. It's like they're responding to Muslim objections ahead of time. It's like Muslims say, oh, it's just affirming the original Torah and Gospel. No, that's why he repeatedly says affirming what you still have. So it's like the Quran contains responses to all the claims Muslims make about corruption. So it's just interesting.
Right. Okay. So is that all, or should I write more notes?
That'll give you the main idea. Again, there are hundreds.
Yeah. So could you guys, like, I don't know, teach me about the Islamic dilemma, or like, I don't know, give me more details, or like anything else? Like, I don't know, maybe explain some of the verses. Like, I know that I think Dosi speaks Arabic very well.
Yeah.
So,
You want to go through a verse and we go through it together? Maybe.
yeah. I think that sounds good. Yeah, maybe like one or two
Why don't you
verses.
pick one? Why don't
Yeah.
you pick one from the list, and we'll bring it up and share the commentaries and stuff.
All right. So maybe 3 to 4. Chapter 3 verses 3 to 4.
Perfect. Let me find it first. Okay, and then I'm gonna ask Joy to put it on the screen.
No, 3 to 4. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, we got it.
Okay.
All right. Let me let's just put it on the screen.
I
here.
don't have it on right now, so is it okay if you guys just read it for me?
Yeah, we'll put it on the screen for you, and I'll go through the Arabic with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, you know Arabic? Yeah?
No, I don't speak Arabic.
Okay, so
Like, I know how to read though, so it's. Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah.
It's okay, we'll go through it with everyone then. So Surah 3 verse 3 says, He has sent down upon you the book in truth, confirming what was before it. The actual Arabic is مُصَدِّقًا لِمَا بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ. So يَدَيْهِ means his hands. So he's confirming what is between his hands.
Right.
And then he says, and he revealed the Torah and the Gospel. وَأَنزَلَ التَّوْرَاةَ وَالْإِنْجِيلَ.
Right. I've read somewhere that he means like some sort of idiom, like it doesn't literally mean.
Yeah, it can mean like what's in your possession.
Yeah, what's
like,
with
what's
you,
with you. Yeah,
like what not literally in your hands, but like you have it in your house, or you have it with you somewhere.
you have access to it or something.
In other words, it would actually be an interesting parallel to all the Quran verses that say confirming what is with you, confirming what you have. It would be another way of saying that, confirming what's in your, like, between your hands or in your presence or something like that.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah. Just if you can explain the tafsir, you're on it right now.
Yeah. So this is the Tabari tafsir. It's talking about meaning that with truthfulness regarding that in which the people of the Torah and the Gospel differed. Okay.
Right.
Regarding, and he mentions the people actually, meaning the people of Najran, the Christians of Najran.
Right.
Okay. And then it says, confirming what is between his hands, meaning the Quran confirming what came before it of the books of Allah.
Right.
Okay, that's what the Tabari says in this tafsir.
Okay.
Alright.
Next verse.
So the next verse, before, meaning what came before, as guidance for the people, and he revealed, actually it says he's revealed Al-Furqan. That's what it says in the Arabic. And
Right.
Al-Furqan is a book that, any book from Allah. That's what Ibn Abbas says.
Okay.
Okay, and here he says the same thing again. He revealed the decisive judgment between truth and falsehood, in that which the factions and the people of religions differed regarding the matter of Isa, Jesus, and others. And then he says what Furqan means, which making distinction between truth and falsehood. But that, like we said, Ibn Abbas said that book can be any book from Allah.
Yeah.
All right. So
maybe, could it be that the context mainly like points towards that the Furqan at this time is the Quran and it's not the Torah and the Injil? Maybe in this time in the context?
It could be, but we know that it could be any other book.
And the point of the Furqan is not to judge between the books of Allah, but it's just to be, like it says here, just between falsehood and truth in general. So you have a lot of people talking about Jesus, for example, like regarding the matter of Jesus, and it's saying this is going to let you know like what's true and false. Right. Not between the books, but between like what people are saying.
Maybe we can find that Ibn Abbas thing. What was that? We'll just get you the what Ibn Abbas said about.
It's 253.
About Al-Furqan, the word.
We're just gonna have to scroll up a little bit. This document is not easily searchable, not yet, but it's in 2 verse 53. And we're getting closer. Okay.
Right here.
So Ibn Abbas said.
So قال Ibn Abbas said, Al-Furqan, the word. Okay, the criterion is the comprehensive name for the Torah, the Gospel, the Psalms, and Al-Furqan here. Itself, meaning the Quran.
Right. Yeah.
He says, جماع اسم التوراة والإنجيل والزبور والفرقان.
All the books.
All of it.
Right.
So they're not criterions amongst themselves. Like the Quran is not the criterion for the Gospel, or the Gospel is not the criterion for the Torah. It's saying all these books are as a whole, collectively, are the criterion.
The same way Allah uses the word Al-Kitab. Sometimes he uses it for the Quran. Sometimes he uses it for Torah.
Like the people of the book.
Yeah, the people of the book.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not that one book is Al-Furqan and the rest are not good enough. That's not what it is.
And by the way, just for your notes, maybe this might be interesting to you. This is a graph here that we made, and it lists
Every
all the
time it says musaddiqan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
There's 19 times in total, but it comes across 18 verses. 18 verses, but 19 times in total. But specifically, musaddiqan in the context of like the books, because you do have this word appearing for Yahya, John the Baptist, where it says he's confirming like the word from the like meaning Jesus. He's confirming Jesus. So just like John the Baptist confirms Jesus, these are also like the Quran also confirms the Bible. So that you do find it used another time, like for other things. But this is all the references when it's relating to the books of Allah that are being confirmed by the Quran.
Okay. But I also have a question.
You can screenshot that if you want to.
Yeah. All right. I have most of the verses that it's talking about here, like 3:3, 546 to 548, things like that.
Okay.
And where it also mentions confirmation. But I have a question regarding the Bible, where it's specifically the New Testament, where it says Matthew 23, 1-3.
Matthew 23.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And I heard this argument that I don't know if it's true or not, but it says that the word confirming here could be like a general confirmation over the scriptures that they have, just like Jesus here is giving a general confirmation on what the oral law, like what the Pharisees teach them, like obey everything they tell you.
Yeah, it's not a general confirmation. We're referring with the argument. We're referring with the Muslims who raise it. But what is that? Do you honestly think that that's what it's saying, or like?
I just want you to explain it to me, because I'm not very well versed in this.
Yeah, no, there's no problem. So there's basically 4 different ways that you can take it. So like, first of all, the question is like, what is Moses' seat, or what is the seat of Moses? Okay, so the first way you can take it is like that it was like an actual like piece of furniture in the synagogue, which is like the authoritative interpretation of the Torah, like the interpretation sat on the seat of Moses, like, the interpreter is there. Okay, that's one way. Like, it's actually a historical thing. Another one is that it's just like a metaphor that the Pharisees, they assumed this like role of being the interpreter of the Torah. So that's the seat of Moses, means you're interpreting the Torah. Okay.
Right.
And then there's a third one, which can be the seat of Moses is like a specific chair that was used to put the Torah scrolls on, right? So like when the synagogue is not in service, this scroll, the Torah scroll, would literally be sitting in the seat of Moses.
Right. Yeah, that's one interpretation, right?
Yeah, and then the final one is that it just refers to like the Pharisees' like position in terms of like they're the ones who basically had access to the Torah. So they were in the seat of Moses because they had access to the Torah. So at no point is it saying that you're to follow their interpretations of because if you think that that's really what it's saying, you have so many problems, because Jesus is continuously like disagreeing with their interpretations and correcting them on certain things. So that can't be what it's saying, right? Because you want to be as charitable as possible, right? You want to be as charitable. Like when we go through the Quran and we're going through all the commentaries, we're literally looking at all the commentaries and we're noting anytime there's something against us, we're still noting it down, and we're like weighing out all the evidence to see what is the Quran really saying here based on all the commentaries. So if you want to be as charitable as possible. So the most charitable interpretation is that Jesus is not contradicting himself earlier on when he's disagreeing with the Pharisees' interpretation, and he's challenging them and correcting them. So it's So I hope hopefully that makes sense. So he's not saying like,
that does make sense.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
But could it be used in the same light when the Quran is confirming the scriptures that they have between their hands?
You have to, if you're going to say that it means something opposite to
I would have to look at the tafsir, and the
it's not just the
interpretations.
tafsir, but even the tafsir is on our side in this. Tafsir is really obvious that what they had at the time, the Torah and the Gospel, whatever they had at the time, Quran is musaddiq, sidq comes from like, I confirm it, I believe it, right? So if you're going to come out with a different conclusion that it's corrupted or something else, you're very dangerous, because it's going against the obvious meaning. You need like very good evidence. You need another verse or some other passage that says, but they got this bit wrong. And in the whole Quran, I've read it many times, nowhere does it say some of their books are good and the rest are corrupt.
Yeah.
Never. Not even in the tafsirs where it actually says like they came to Muhammad with this problem, like the Jews in Surah 5 verses 43 to 47. The Jews came
And
with
it
this
says, do
problem.
they not judge by their own Torah? Yeah.
It says go judge by the Torah. Why are they coming to you?
Yeah.
Now you have to say that this means the whole Torah is good, because it didn't say go to that part and not the other part of the Torah. So you have to have very good evidence that's opposite to what the verse is actually saying. Otherwise, you're going against Allah.
And so, yeah, and so back to Matthew 23, though, if you just keep reading, and Jesus is saying they're telling you to call them rabbi, rabbi. So if the interpretation is okay, whatever the Pharisees say, well, Jesus is saying you have to follow exactly what they say. But then he literally goes on the very next sentence and says they say rabbi, rabbi, and he's saying don't do that. Don't be calling rabbi, rabbi, because you only have one master. You have one, and that's me, the Christ, the Messiah. So, like I said, you have to give the most charitable interpretation, and he's unless you want to say that he's contradicting himself in the very next sentence, right? Because he's literally challenging what they say, right? So,
Right.
It's like whatever they're interpreting of the Torah, that's the correct interpretation. Go by that, but don't do what they do. Do what they're saying about the Torah, but don't do what they do. And all of this stuff that about the Talmud and the Mishnah, and these come much later. So if you have the Muslims telling you, oh, Jesus is verifying everything that the Pharisees and the scribes did, and they're pointing you to the Mishnah or the Talmud or whatever, and they're saying, oh, look what they said here. Well, that's much later, and we don't have. The evidence is not strong that everything that these things said, it goes back to the first century. Some of the things, yeah, you can say some of them went back to the first century, not everything that they said. So you can't judge on a book that's 300 years later or 600 years later and say, oh, that's what the Pharisees were saying in the first century, right? So yeah, the Muslims who are telling you this, they'd be hard pressed to give you documentation in the first century for what exactly were the Pharisees saying, and if what they're saying is correct, follow what the Pharisees say, but don't do what they do. Well, what exactly were the Pharisees saying? The Muslims are going to tell you.
Yeah.
They're going to tell you oh, go look at the Talmud. Well, that comes much later. How do you know that's what they were saying in the first century? So there's a lot of leaps you have to take. And like I said, the most charitable interpretation, and literally the next verse, he says, they say this, but don't say what they say. Don't do that either. So it just seems to, the most, and the one that makes the most sense is when it comes to interpreting the Torah, the correct interpretation that they give, follow that, but don't do the things that they do. All right. Yeah. So there's not a parallel here to the Islamic dilemma. I said, we're familiar with these arguments. We've heard it from the Muslims, and it's they're trying to get out of it, but it's also kind of like a whataboutism as well. So even if that's a true dilemma, let's just say if it is for the Christians, it doesn't help the Muslims escape from their dilemma, right?
And you can see how desperate you see how desperate it is. They're going to a place where Jesus calls out the Pharisees for their hypocrisy. He's saying, do what they say, which is from the Torah, but not what they do, because they're hypocrites. They go against what they preach in what they do. Right. I don't see how that helps the Islam-Muslim dilemma, where it's actually Allah versus Muslims.
Yeah,
it's actually Allah saying, go to the Torah, go to the gospel. It believes what I'm telling you, and then you guys say it's corrupt. That's the whole opposite of what your Allah is saying.
Right.
Makes sense?
Yeah, it does. Your explanations are very good. Thank you.
Okay, great. Yeah, sure.
All right. I think I'm just gonna have to go now.
Okay. All right. Hey, it's on
my own research. Yeah.
Good talking to you. It's really good talking to you.
Thank you. It was good talking to you guys too.
All right.
Hey, Dilemma, do you remember me?
No, I don't, man. What are we talking about?
Same topic.
Same topic?
Same topic.
Oh.
2 weeks ago on a Wednesday. Monday. Sorry, Monday.
Man, you got a good memory, bro. I would have to get it.
No, it's because you deal with tens, dozens of people, so yeah, I understand why. Anyway,
it's all good though.
Yeah, I hope I talk to you later soon too.
Yeah. Come anytime, man. I probably said that to you last time. Huh? Come anytime.
You did.
Yeah, because we had a good conversation.
Yep.
Yeah,
all right.
It's starting to ring a bell now. Yep.
Have a good day, everybody.
All right, take care, bro.
God bless you, man. Hey, Avery, you gotta learn that line from the Street Fighter movie, man. When she comes and she gives this speech about how he killed her family and destroyed her village all these years ago. And she gives this awesome speech that she'd been preparing since she was a child. And he says, I don't remember any of this. I understand it. The day that Bison graced you with his presence was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday. Got to learn that when you got to learn that when people say, "Do you remember me?"
Okay, welcome back, guys. That was very fascinating. I believe you learned something new. Share this video, subscribe, and also don't forget to like it as well. If the Uthmanic Quran is a clear explanation of everything, then why so many tafsirs? Why do you need the word of men to understand the word of your God? Do you need the hadith and the commentaries to understand these things written in your Quran? If the Quran claims it explains everything in details, why do you need all of these human commentaries for it to make sense to the faithful? Muslims don't really believe Allah. Allah most really didn't mean the fact that the previous scriptures that you have and Muhammad says in his hand didn't mean that. They believe in their Dawah scholars over their own prophets and their own God. As long as they believe in what their Dawah master says over what the Quran says, you will continue to see things like this, and they are bound to happen in countless times. They will continue to be in this tight corner except they accept what the Quran says concerning the scriptures. Remember that the Quran says the Bible is the word of God. Quran also says the word of God can't be corrupted. The Quran says Allah will preserve his word. If the Bible is corrupted, then the Quran is false. It is as simple as that. If Allah promised to protect his book from corruption and it cannot be corrupted, and the previous scriptures are the words of Allah, and modern Muslims are claiming that it has been corrupted, then it means that the Quran is false for making a false claim. The dilemma is a stronghold on this religion. Either ways, it still proves that the Quran is false, just the way it has been from the beginning of this religion. So guys, thank you for watching. Share this video, subscribe. We'd love to see you in the next episode.